Thank you. Please be seated. Prefect joke of the day is, a guy walks into a psychiatrist's office and says, "I feel like I'm invisible." The receptionist responds, "I'm sorry, the doctor can't see you right now."
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Prefect Chapel. This is the last thing I'm going to say this morning, is that the opening hymn is hymn number 11, Callan Land.
Thank you. Please be seated. A reading from Proverbs. Wisdom has built her house. She has set up its 7 pillars. She has prepared her meat and mixed her wine. She has also set her table. She has sent out her servants, and she calls from the highest point of the city. Let all who are simple come to my house. To those who have no sense, she says, come, eat my food, and drink the wine I have mixed. Leave your simple ways, and you will live. Walk in the way of insight. The word of the Lord. The gradual hymn will be I Vow to Thee, My Country, hymn number 3. Please stand.
The
Thank you. Please be seated. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus told them many things in parables, saying, "A farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. But when the sun came up, the plants were scorched, and they withered because they had no root. Other seed fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. Still, other seed fell on good soil, where it produced a crop, 100, 60, or 30 times what was sown. Whoever has ears, let them hear." The Gospel of Christ.
Hello, everyone. So because Dino's concussed, I've been elected to read his speech on his reflection of Shawnigan. So here we go. Hello, everyone. Throughout my time at Shawnigan, I have been lucky enough to have made so many great memories and make friends I will never forget. As my time at Shawnigan is now coming to a close, I've taken time to reflect on what my time here has meant to me. To begin, academics for myself has been a roller coaster ride. There were times where I struggled and points where I found it easy. However, after 3 years of a similar schedule and teachers who have helped me, it has opened many different doors and opportunities that I would never have been given back home. Another aspect that has played a major role in my Shawnigan career is sports. Through sports, I've been fortunate enough to have developed as a rugby player and as a person through the many experiences and memories. The tours I've had the opportunity to go on were unforgettable. Imagine around 30 senior boy rugby players in one hotel in a foreign country. To say the least, there were some very entertaining times. Nonetheless, Shawnigan Rugby has not only given myself, but many others the ability to love and enjoy the sport for everything that it is. As all sports at Shawnigan do, it gave me the ability to express myself like an artist would do through their paintings, or a writer would do through their work. Because of what I learned and experienced, I can truly say that rugby at Shawnigan has been beneficial for me in every aspect of my life. Now finally, I will talk about the house and what I have learned. I remember grade 10 vividly, and for me it was definitely my easiest year. There were so many late nights where we would stay up to mess around. However, more than a couple times during those nights, our intern at the time, Colin, would sneak into our room with bags under his eyes and squinting as if he had just woke up. Every time he would look at us and say, "Can you guys just, shut up?" And then he would quietly waddle back to his room. It got particularly bad when Colin had finally returned from St. Catherine's that year, only to find that the light above his bed had somehow shattered. And coincidentally, my room was right above his. As the year ended and the summer passed, I returned to the school year after year, nothing ever really changing. Life in the house is an aspect of Shawnigan I'm truly grateful for, not just because of the values of living on your own, but because it taught me to value the little moments in life, because those are the ones you'll always remember. These aspects of Shawnigan have given me numerous opportunities and memories. Everyone will always have different opinions. There are aspects that you like and that you dislike about Shawnigan. However, as time passes and you become more confident and comfortable with the whole experience, you will look back on these days and realize that even though with very difficult times, there's always the little things about your everyday life that make all the hardship worth it. Before ending off, I would like to personally say thank you to Mr. Robertson for everything he has done for the students and everything he has done for me. If it were not for the opportunities that I was given through him, I would not be the same person I am today. So from myself, thank you, Mr. Robertson. And from the glad class of 2018, thank you for being our mentor through your as well as our final year here at Shawnigan. We will wish you all the best for your and Mrs. Robertson's retirement and hope that you know how much you have helped every student grow to develop into the fine young people they are today. Thank you. I would now like to call up Maia for the musical presentation.
So I have this really clear memory, and it's grade 10 in the hospital gala, and I was serving, and I had about 2 trays of just full of glasses. I was spilling them everywhere. I was in a big rush, and Mr. Robertson stops me, which of course caused me to spill all the glasses in the water, but that's okay. And he stops me and he says, "You need to sing this song. You need to sing this song." And I've been putting it off for 2 years now, but anyway, I thought this would be the perfect time, so enjoy. This is for you. Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch. A long, lonely time. And time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love. I need your love. Godspeed your love to me. Lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea, to the open arms of the sea. Lonely rivers sigh, wait for me, wait for me. I'll be coming home, wait for me. Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch. A long, lonely time, and time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love. I need your love. Godspeed your love to
As the graduating class of 2018 is preparing to embark on a new chapter of our lives, the Prefect group would like to share a list of tips on how to thrive at Shawnigan, based on what we have learned throughout our combined 60 years here. That might seem like a lot until you realize that Mrs. Grass, Mr. Connolly, and Mr. Noble have been here for A combined of 1,500 years? So our first tip. Whether you're in grade 8 or it's your 5th year here at Shawnigan, the first tip we have for you today is to challenge yourself. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and try something new, whether it be in a fine art, sport, or rigorous academic courses. Yes, Alice, you sang in chapel, but how was your sport this year? My second tip is be who you are and embrace it. I could count about 100 times where people have commented that I only have 2 outfits, my classroom dress and my pink Patagonia sweater. But that has never stopped me from only wearing these 2 outfits every day. Many of our teachers follow my mantra. In fact, I think I've only ever seen Mr. Klassen wear 2 different types of dress pants, the brown and the pink ones. My third tip, don't be afraid to take a break and have fun. We all know how busy the Shawnigan schedule can be, which often results in us forgetting to relax once in a while. There's nothing like taking a 10-minute break here and there between studying for your exams, or even going for a nice walk to the village on a sunny Saturday afternoon for a 3,000-calorie Slurpee, a large pepperoni pizza from Serapino's, and a large bag of Doritos. We definitely don't recommend taking your walks after curfew. However, we really want to stress the value of walking, Mr. Robertson. My fourth tip for you today, be positive. I know this is easier said than done. However, being positive will make stressful days at Shawnigan a little bit easier. In order to be positive, you can surround yourself with other positive people, practice positive self-talk, and follow a healthy lifestyle. In addition, it is proven that being positive increases your lifespan. Positive people have also reported a 60% greater success rate of mooching from friends around the tables on a stag night. Tip number 5, take advantage of the opportunities that Shawnigan has to offer. It is not every day you get to live in a house with 50 other people from around the world. I, for one, learned to embrace the sound of country music blasting through speakers at 7 a.m. by Maddie and Caitlin as I was peacefully enjoying my much-needed 8th hour of sleep. Tip number 6, take advantage of the teacher's willingness to help you succeed. It is not often that teachers make themselves available on Saturday mornings or Sunday nights to offer their student the best opportunity to do their best. Trust me. I know how hard it is to get out of bed to walk across campus to go to a chemistry tutorial at 7:30 on a Sunday night, but you always feel better about yourself once you do it. Number 7, don't be afraid to talk to the duty staff in your houses. As I reflect on my time here at Shawnigan, I come to realize that one of the things I will miss the most are the conversations I have had with them throughout the year. They have great advice and will always have your back no matter what. Tip number 8. One of the greatest benefits of living at a boarding school is the accessibility one has to work in a group whenever you want. My biggest tip for you today, and what has helped me a lot throughout my 2 years here, is to learn how to ask for help, and that it's okay to lean on your peers. As John Haywood famously wrote in 1546, 2 heads are better than 1. Tip number 9. At Shawnigan, it is inevitable that you will stumble and come across defeats from time to time. However, the most important lesson from this is to learn that your defeats aren't always failures, but they are opportunities for you to learn and grow as an individual and as a team. Tip number 10. My final tip for you today is the same one that Mr. Robertson gives to every student when they first walk through the Shawnigan gates. Don't cut corners in life. As the curtain slowly drops on Mr. Robertson's 1/4 century of service and leadership, it is our duty to honor his legacy and continue a long-standing tradition at the school. Think twice before cutting that corner in the quad. In closing, I would like to thank Mr. Robertson on behalf of his final prefect group and every student that has sat in this chapel in his presence. Thank you for your passion in instilling your belief and knowledge in us, the students. Thank you for reminding us what hooks are for. Thank you for reminding us about the importance of keeping the door open for the person behind you. Thank you for teaching us the value of human-to-human interaction. And most importantly, thank you for making us a part of your family for the past 25 years. Thank you. Our offertory hymn is Morning Has Broken. Please refer to the printed rewritten lyrics.
Thank you. Please be seated. We take a moment to think about those in need in our families and in the world. Please respond to the bidding, Lord, in your mercy, with hear our prayer. We pray today in thanksgiving for the many years of service of Mr. and Mrs. Robertson. We pray for them as they prepare for the next chapter in their lives. Lord, in your mercy. We pray for the class of 2018 as they too prepare to leave Shawnigan for the last time. Lord, in your mercy. We pray for all Shawnigan students, past and present, that they continue to live according to the values of compassion, service, and personal responsibility. Lord, in your mercy. We pray for the sick, the homeless, and the lonely. Lord, in your mercy. We pray for all those serving in peacekeeping forces throughout the world. Lord, in your mercy. We take a brief moment to consider any other needs in our hearts. Lord, in your mercy.
I'll invite you to join me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
That's upside down. So as this chapel ceremony and also the year come to an end, I want to take a few minutes to recognize a major part of what helps the Prefect group run. There are many things that allow this team to function how it does, but a major part of that, I think, is leadership. Leadership is crucial because without it, there can be no direction, goal, or focus. Leadership for the Prefects undoubtedly comes from and starts with Mr. CB. I think I can speak for the whole group by saying that above all else, Mr. CB is a man of integrity. No matter what, he always holds true to his highest moral values. This isn't an easy thing to do, but he has become a master of this trait. Not everything he does is popular or perfect, but he has the judgment and the courage to make decisions at the hardest of times when it counts. This quality has earned him the trust and respect of the whole Prefect team. I remember one time earlier in the year when I had been talking with Mr. CB about how the rowing season was going, and I mentioned that the senior boys team had been using Saturday mornings to get some extra work done on the ergs. He looked at me and said, "Hey Ben, would it be okay if I came down to do an erg workout with you guys on Saturday mornings?" I was a little surprised by this. People don't usually ask to join in on erg workouts, especially at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. I said of course he could come down if he wanted, and the next day he showed up just like he said he would. Our normal workout on Saturday mornings was 4 by 2,000 meters. And once I was done, I sat on my erg, struggling to breathe, trying to get my heart rate down. Mr. CB next to me stood up and said, "Wow, what a great way to wake up." He continued to come to our grueling Saturday morning sessions for as long as they went. I then realized how much I had grown to respect Mr. CB over the years that I had known him. This persistence shines through in the work that he does with the Prefects, and how he always tries his hardest to do what's best for the school. Mr. CB, I can't thank you enough, but thank you for all that you have given us. I also want to give a quick thank you to Barbara Hidley for organizing this whole chapel, because she basically did the whole thing. Our last hymn is going to be the school hymn, number 1. Please stand.
There's a voice in the wilderness crying, Sit down, please. So, I'm going to apologize up front for being emotional. Maybe I shouldn't be apologizing for being emotional. It's just part of life. I used to hide behind that little line from Horace, famous Latin poet, whom you've all studied, I know. He said there are tears and things that touch the human heart, and that's true, and that's the way it should be. I want to thank the school prefects this morning for a memorable service. I just absolutely couldn't have been better. So thank you so much for doing that, and for your messages and all your kind words. And the last 6 months, probably, I think it's 6 months, whenever Mrs. Robertson and I started on our farewell rockstar kind of tour, we now actually have a T-shirt, by the way. We've got a T-shirt. Yeah, it's got all the places on the back and all that kind of thing. Nobody wants the T-shirt, but we have it. It's been pretty overwhelming for us, just all the lovely emotions that have come out. And what it does is and here's my lesson for you, is it just reinforces to you again and again and again what you hear the Rev saying, that when you give, then you get back so much more. So that's essentially the message that I'm trying to convey. And look at that gift that Maia shared with us this morning. First of all, she shared her wonderful talent, and then that was the most beautiful surprise I've had for a long time. I thought, there I was, thinking, yeah, Maia never took me up on that, and I thought she'd forgotten all about that conversation. And that conversation came out of pain and produced joy, because I was on a 10K run listening to that song when I thought of you, and I thought, this is a song that Maia could sing. And I was in pain because, when you're old and unfit and have 2 arthritic hips, you're not supposed to be running 10Ks. So out of that pain came that joy. So thank you, Maia, so much this morning. And I'll give you a round of applause again. And I've been saying to people, and I'll say it again, if Mrs. Robertson and I both feel the same way, that if no one says thank you to us again for the rest of our lives, then we'll die happy. We've been well thanked. I'm actually much more comfortable, as you know, saying thank you than receiving thanks. I think it's so lovely that people want to do that and so appreciate it. And then all of you, I sit here on a Saturday morning and like everybody else, you sometimes, there are times in your school year where you're wondering, wow, are we getting traction here? Are we doing something that's meaningful and important? And I think the Rev would agree, and many others on the staff around the chapel, that when we gather as a community and make it as meaningful as we make it, then we can all sort of figuratively pat ourselves on the back and say, you know what, we're doing something meaningful. Because this sort of stuff and these feelings will stay with you for life. So, thank you for your singing again this morning. It was just, there isn't a school, as I said to you before, anywhere that I know of that's doing that. So, for a bunch of teenagers to have the willingness to engage in that, I congratulate you and thank you. So I want to finish by thanking you, and I want you to give yourselves a round of applause, because that's what I want to do. Now we just have to get on with the business of finishing strong. Thanks, everybody. Well done.